just another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, won't be as simple for you.
Yo guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another late match reaction. Apologies guys, I've just been out all day. Usually we come straight out the game, but like I said, I've been out all day, but you've got to react to it. Big up everyone who's watching, who's still up for live. Remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, and smash that notification button. Plays Manchester United. Oh, big up everyone, man. Big up Yassir. Big up Matthew, says evening all. Big up Jorindale, says hi. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Watching on Twitch. Big up RDS, everyone on showing the chat. Big up Matthew, man. Big up Gaz Elliott, says Ten Hag is turning out to be one of the worst managers we've ever had. We're going to talk about that. Rob G, big up G and all in the chat. Now, bad day at the office, very disappointing, man. Yep, absolutely disgraceful. How long does Erik get to change it around? Horrible performance. He needs to go, I think. So already a lot of a lot of negative energy to. I mean, I can't lie, guys. I was very surprised by the performance today. I thought that you know, beating Chelsea. I mean, I guess it just goes to show how crap Chelsea are. You know, you can't even use Chelsea as a measure of winning or progress or anything because they're just so bad. But Bournemouth, I didn't expect this. I mean, we usually do beat Bournemouth, and I expected Bournemouth at home. This is going to be the game. This is going to be a game, at the very least 2-0 or something like that. We've got this. They're coming into decent form, but we, we've got this. Got this. David teases, I'm hiding from the other stream. I dread to think what they're talking about. I suspect I know that. The thing is, a certain LL shouldn't have any shame, man, because his team is playing tomorrow. He always does this, where he cooks and cooks and cooks. When United have a disaster class, he needs to realize that his team is also playing tomorrow against away to Everton, who I expect will give him some lube. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this, let alone 3-0. I think the first thing I'll say, okay, because I've seen a lot of reactions already, people saying Ten Hag out, the players, all the rest of it. So just having watched the game and a few observations before we get into the breakdown and player ratings and stuff like that, is that we shouldn't be revisionist. For at least, certainly up until the first 5 minutes, until the first goal, and even up until for most of the half, probably about 31 minutes, United actually played really well. United played really, really well. And the biggest issue that I had, and that has been the issue all season, is that we can't finish our chances, we can't score goals. It's the opposite in the Champions League, where we can score goals, we can't keep them out. But in the Premier League, we can't seem to kill our chances away. Our attackers, whether it's the chemistry, the thing, I don't know, are not good enough. I know that Højlund was dropped today. Whether he would have made a difference not today or not, I don't know. But the attackers we have, and that includes Sancho, who people seem to say, like, I'll say this right now, the idea that bringing Sancho and Varane into this team would somehow have magically made things better, I think is funny. I think is funny. Maybe it might have been a slight difference, but I think it's funny. I think it's funny because those players have been involved in baptisms that we had last season, the season before. Last time I checked, Varane was playing against Liverpool when we were away to Anfield and we got baptized. So I'm not going to accept this idea that if we play certain players, that suddenly football is a team game at the end of the day. And most of the you know, the starting 11 are the players that people would have picked. Maybe people said McTominay should go out, but you know, I understand it's difficult to drop McTominay because McTominay's scoring goals, even though I don't think he's a good midfielder. Interestingly enough, with Bruno being suspended for the Anfield game, I suspect McTominay will actually play in the 8th position, which might suit him. And you can bring Mainu, McTominay, and Mainu and Amrabat in. But you know, I just think it's not good enough. But I know people are focusing on defense, but the biggest issue for me, we should be scoring goals. This for me is the key thing. It's like I get that the natural reaction is for us to criticize the defense, criticize Onan, Maguire, etc. But we create enough chances. Our final third today and our final third for the season has been awful. It's been so bad. Liverpool conceded. This is what I'm going to say. It's like Liverpool, City. A lot of these teams concede first. I think City have conceded first in most of their games this season. Liverpool, they got a bit of luck with the Palace, but they conceded first. 2 goals, 3. They conceded, I think, 3 goals at Anfield against Fulham. Think of this, guys. Liverpool conceded 3 goals at Fulham and were losing. The difference between Liverpool, who are conceding goals as well, the difference is that we can score goals. We can't score goals. When we're in the final third, when we're in the it just doesn't seem to work. Yes, Anthony's gotten a little bit better, and Garnacho's doing his thing, but it's not good enough. Our attacking line, Martial, Garnacho, aren't good enough in the league anyway. In the Champions League, it's different because teams actually play out. They're not going to be parking the bus. It's not as compact, so we're scoring more goals. But in the Premier League, we just don't have the players that can really go in, that can really break teams down. But it's just disappointing. The irony is that the actual table, the points, doesn't change. We're still 3 points behind City, 100 points behind Sunderland, etc. That doesn't change. But obviously, Newcastle, I think Brighton drew today, if I recall. Spurs, etc. All those teams. Or Spurs really played. I can't remember. But anyway, you know, our position currently doesn't change. But I think the biggest issue is that because I assume, like most people, I anticipate us losing away to Anfield. I anticipate us going. So it was beat Bournemouth, and then you can basically hold L to Liverpool at Anfield, and then progress from there. The fact that we couldn't beat Bournemouth implies that it's going to be a struggle. Spurs play tomorrow against Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, this would have been an opportunity to be like, right, okay, in our hunt for top 4, because we're not winning the title. There was no doubt about that. But as far as I'm concerned, the goal is to get Champions League football next season, which probably is going to be top 5. So that being the case, we need to get 5th. You've got Spurs playing Newcastle tomorrow, so you know that a rival for Champions League spot is going to drop points, either Spurs or Newcastle. So this was the opportunity for United to capitalize, and they didn't. I don't know, the situation in the camp right now. I don't know whether they're playing for him, not playing for him. It's really difficult to say. If they're not playing for the manager, just say it, get the manager out, sacked, etc., and then move on. If they are playing for the manager, then freaking play for the manager. Just freaking play for the manager. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And I'm tired of this kind of like there's always seems to be an issue, a problem. With Ollie, he's not a disciplinarian, he doesn't get the players into shape, he has favorites. He's a PE teacher, doesn't have strategy, blah blah blah. Then we bring in a manager who has high level CL experience, who has a philosophy, who does things, and now the other excuses are, oh, he's too much of a disciplinarian. Oh, he gets out. He doesn't get on with X, Y, and Z, etc., etc. And it's the same thing. And we're assuming, that someone else will do something different. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look at some of these comments from people. Brush says, "Big up, folks. Smash like. Thank you, Brush man. Appreciate it." Gaz says, It could have been 6-0. It could have been 6-0. They were that bad. They were that bad. But this is the thing. It just, I don't know. Was it tiredness? What I would love in football is if, rather than players being generic and like Bruno posted, like, "Oh, we're sorry, bad performance, not going to go again," shit. I actually just want to know generally why players thought that they delivered the performance that they delivered, and being honest about it. If they were like, "Listen, we were tired, we didn't sleep, some of us didn't sleep well, blah blah blah." Yes, we get pissed, but at least I'd be able to understand. I'm still struggling to understand why that performance happened after Chelsea. I assumed we made the performance, we pressed well, did well, etc. Awesome. So now we're going to do the same. I guess the only thing is, did not playing Højlund and shifting Luke Shaw to left-sided centre back cause us problems? I don't know. But defensively, we weren't great. I think Luke Shaw and Reguilon got done a few times from the cross, which we shouldn't be allowing to happen. But that's it. That's it. Damien says 18 goals in 16 games to United is abysmal. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, Damien. This is what I'm saying. It's like 18 goals in 16 games. So yes, okay, we conceded goals. Liverpool conceded goals. I keep saying last week, Liverpool conceded 3 goals to Fulham at Anfield. The difference is they were able to score goals. The biggest issue for me with United right now, for me, is just that our just attackers just are not good enough. They're not good enough, and I don't know how to fix that. I really don't know how to fix that. Should they be under Ten Hag? I don't know. Do I think Sancho is now suddenly going to? I've not seen enough. I mean, let me know what you think in the chat, guys. I haven't seen enough from Sancho since his time at Old Trafford to think that him coming back into the squad is suddenly going to make this attack flow and be better, especially given that he's not played first team football in ages. So I don't think he's been training, but I don't think you've thrown back in and suddenly now the dude's going to pop off. Personally, I don't know. We've not progressed forward. We're seeing the same shit show that we've seen before. Yeah, I know. Well, something will give, Matthew, and that is, at the end of the day, as I've said, and I posted on this on Twitter, I've said that at the end of the day, if the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal comes through, he's on borrowed time. He's on borrowed time. I see the same situation that you had with was it Tuchel with Chelsea? The new director with Bowley came in. He kept him. He said, "Yeah, we're going to back him. We're going to back him." But really and truly, they wanted their own guys. And if it's rumored that Sir Jim and the consortium are going to be in control of football operations and going to want to bring in their own guys, for me, Ten Hag is on borrowed time. He'll probably be given till the end of the season because things don't be finalized yet. And if he performs badly, as he's performing now, he'll be gone at the end of the season, and the new Sir Jim's consortium will want to bring in their own guy. Now, who that person is, I don't know. Because for people saying that he should be sacked, I'm like, okay, who's going to come in? Fletcher? Carrick? Who? Because we tried the interim thing before with Ragnick, and it didn't work because he wasn't backed and people didn't listen to him. So who's going to be? You're going to bring Ollie back for interim? Who's going to? There is no one available. There's no top manager available right now that is going to leave mid-season. They're not here. They're not here, guys. So you're going to have to get an interim coach. So the question should not be more of, if you want him gone, do you want an interim coach for the rest of the season? To do what exactly? Because we're out of the Champions League. So what's the person the interim coach should do? To what? Secure top 4? To promote dressing? I don't know. So these are the questions that people need to ask, because there's a lot of reactionary, out, gone, sacked, etc. We have to look at the purpose of bringing someone in at this point. And the reality is that, and if you get the table out, let me just see. You know, the Glazers and the ownership only care about getting the Champions League. Right now, because Champions League is probably going to be 5th, we are level on points for Champions League spots. And even if Spurs win, which they might, or Newcastle win, which they won't, it will be 3 or 1 points behind the Champions League spot. So he's not going anywhere. As bad as the loss is, he's not going anywhere. He's not. That's just how it is. Whether that's right or wrong, well, I'll leave it in the chat. Leave that in the chat. Let me know who you think the worst player was as well, by the way. Worst I've seen United. Oh, I've seen worse. I appreciate it was comment, guys, but I definitely have seen worse. People say that's the worst United. That's the worst of today. No, I would even argue. I still have not forgotten the Anfield baptism. That was bad. And one of the reasons why, I've been uncertain about Ten Hag, even from last season, if you go back to my streams, I've never called for a manager out or stuff like that. That's not my style. But the big red flag in my mind was the baptism at Anfield. That for me was the worst. That shouldn't happen. I can take 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. I can actually take that. I can't take 7-0 to Liverpool. I can't take that. I can't. And a lot of the players that were favorites or people liked, some of whom were not here, were playing in that game. Hence my skepticism. Big up, Durandi says, I saw a Dutch ESPN post showing stats for the game, and it said that Ten Hag had the highest percentages out of all modern managers like Ferguson, Mourinho, Solskjaer, and I'm not sure if that's just pure Dutch propaganda. Low. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, he is the quickest Manchester United manager to win 50 games. He is. That is true. He is. When you put that into context, you also got to remember Fergie actually started really poorly at United. Ollie came in halfway through the season, and really the biggest thing about Ollie was the winning run, but more so PSG. He did still lose quite a few games, most notably, and then Mourinho. Well, I remember when City were going to win the league, and we came back. Poor Pogba, clutch, got hit, turned around. It was 2-1, and we turned around to make it 3-2. Happy days. We beat City, and they didn't dunk the Premier League on us, which was great. But then the following week, lost to West Brom. So this inconsistency for Manchester United is something that's been going on for the last decade. Like, I've never seen in the last 10 years, a Manchester United squad that's actually been consistent. We might have patches where we have maybe go on a 10-game unbeaten run or away run or something like that. That might be good. But in terms of just league consistency, like in the form of a City or a Liverpool, etc., I've never seen that. We always either go on a semi-decent run and then we just capitulate and just bottle it, etc., and there are various reasons for that. And that's always been the case. And I don't know the solution to that. Trailing the next 2 games, Bayern are going to be tear us a new one. Well, I mean, you've got to shed a tear for Bayern, who got lubricated by Frankfurt today. I still think we'll lose to both of those teams, but, you live in hope. At the end of the day, these 2 teams, Liverpool and Bayern, their defenses aren't that much better. The problem is that our defense isn't good. If our defense was decent, we actually might be able to give Liverpool and Bayern a game, because their defenses aren't particularly great either. The players let us down, says Rob. They have to take a lot of the blame, but at the end of the day, the manager picks the team. Erik's out and clear a lot of these players out. Yeah, I mean, Here's the thing. I'm not. I just think that like he's not going to be like he's not going to be sacked for the reasons that obviously that I said. And I think it'd be a different story if we were like 10 points away, but he's not. And these American owners only care about Champions League. I mean, think of it this way. Chelsea are in 10th place and they spent £2 billion and they're nowhere close to fourth, and they're still keeping their manager. So, and I'm just using the American example, and they're obviously American businessmen owners, blah blah blah. So just imagine we also have American business owners, and we're not even that far off top four. Do you think that do you think that the Glazers are going to initiate a sacking? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. So that's what I was saying. I try and be a realist with these things. It's like, even though I'm well, I'd say I'm Ten Hag indifferent. I don't really care whether he stays or goes at this point because I think the structure of the club is still there, still going to be the same, and that's my biggest issue. And really, it's just a question of seeing what Radcliffe and company do. But you know, the trend that I've seen or noticed that like Champions League is the minimum. If he doesn't get Champions League and there's a fall and everything that's happened, then probably he probably will go. But if he gets Champions League somehow, he's staying. And that's really all we're playing for this season, if you want to be honest. You know, will we win the FA Cup? Probably not. Too many big, strong teams, and we're going to be knocked out of the Champions League soon. I hope to God that we don't get. That's why the Bayern loss. I'm like, well, do you really want to go if we were to beat Bayern? Because someone is going to win. In order for United to progress, you need Copenhagen and Galatasaray to draw, and that's not going to happen. So, and if we beat Bayern, it puts us in the Europa League spot, which I don't want to be in because it's additional. We're not going to win it, and there's additional games. I'd rather United finish bottom of the group so that we can just focus on one game a week, an FA Cup, and that's it, and let all the other teams tire themselves out. Personally, Liverpool will thrash us again. I hope to God they don't, man, and I hope to God. Big up Rasmus, man, and Disgrace ones. It was. Why are we almost always in crisis? I'm supposed to play Liverpool. Actually, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. When we played Liverpool away last season, I was confident because their defense was garbage. They weren't doing well. They were like 5th or 6th in the league. We were above them, and we were going into that game with a decent run, and then they destroyed us, which wasn't helpful. So yeah, I don't agree with that, Rasmus. Actually, I think last season we weren't in a crisis. Big up Detroit Rock City for the super chat, man. Appreciate it, man. Shout out RDS. TUE is the battle of disgraced clubs. What's TUE? TUE. John, TUE is the battle of disgraced clubs. I know what TUE stands for, Detroit. Let me know in the chat. TUE is yes, TUE is the battle of disgraced clubs. I assume it's regarded to United and Chelsea being bad. That's what I'm going to assume you're saying to Detroit. So, but I appreciate the super chat, man. I really, really do. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. YGS says, big up, man. Big up, guys. That says, I think Erik would rather lose his job than give in to Jadon Sancho. Yeah. Oh, man. The whole Sancho thing is, there's never a dull moment at Manchester United, is there? The whole Sancho thing is just, it's just the thing is that this is what I keep on saying is that I'm not saying one is right or wrong over this, but what I would say is that like we need to kind of get through this idea that one or maybe two players are somehow going to be able to magically make things back better. That's just not how it works. Look at Aston Villa, look at Liverpool, look at City, etc. Like it's not just one player or two players. Like we're still in this mindset that like one or not, you're saying you are, Matthew, but that that one or two players, if we bring this player and brings player in, then everything is just going to be fine. And we're going to cook and it'll be okay. No. You need a squad, a good starting 11 and a squad. That's what you need. And the reality is that Manchester United persistently have had terrible squads, injuries for all of them, and inconsistency. We have a very inconsistent squad. And a lot of these players have been here since back in Van Gaal Mourinho days and have done nothing. You know, the Rashford, Martial, McTominay. How many of these guys have played under how many different managers already? Rashford, McTominay, Martial. You know, Lindelof even has been here since Mourinho days. Okay, Maguire, Ollie Kane, but he's almost been here for 3-4 years now. I don't know. Daniel says I won't sack Ten Hag. Dave Busford wants Dan Ashford from Newcastle for technical director 1 point. Interesting. Well, we will get Tom on. And I've got another guy, Manchester United transfer guy, who I hope to get onto the show because it's getting to January transfer window. So transfer season is well. So we'll be hopefully having a weekly transfer show at some point, which would be good, you know. Fingers crossed it'll be good anyway. Players need to go. Do you agree? How many managers? Yeah, I mean, you can't get rid of all the players. I agree. I just think it's just on the one hand, a part of me is like, listen, you look at say Arteta, and you're like, he had 2 bad seasons, finishing 8th, and then the 3rd season he started balling. Ten Hag actually did better than Arteta in his first season, finished 3rd in a trophy, and now currently we're sitting 6th, which is still higher than what Arteta finished in his 2nd season with Arsenal. How long do you stick with the manager for? I don't know. And that's why I say that I don't really stress about it, because at the end of the day, all will be revealed when this takeover or 25% thing happens. Because I suspect Radcliffe will bring in his own dude. So it doesn't really matter. Like, I think, Radcliffe and company are probably going to bring in their own guy. Who that is, I don't know. And depending on how things go, it might be better or worse. So in my mind, Ten Hag is already on borrowed time, unless he somehow turns around and starts performing really, really well and, goes on a good run on trophies. He's on borrowed time, because the new ownership, or 25% ownership, is looking at going, your results aren't good enough, you're gone. They've already criticized United and the structure and saying, I think I was reading somewhere about the whole idea of like spending the amount of money on Casemiro was stupid. So these guys are not going to be spending crazy amounts of money to get weak ass players. They're not. I suspect they're probably going to go more along the line of the Chelsea model. That's what I think. I think they're probably going to go down the Chelsea model of talent. I think he's not leaving till your fan base at the stadium will make it clear. Atonement says Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yes. That summarizes Manchester United stuff, man. Jekyll and Hyde tax, man. Jekyll and Hyde tax. Good evening, says Bob. Big up, good evening, by the way, man. Big up, good evening. I've always low-key had a respect for Emery, because I actually always thought he was a good manager. It's just that I thought that he was wrongly criticized in the British press, essentially because he couldn't speak good English. That's what it was, hence good evening. He couldn't speak good English, he couldn't adapt to the way that things are. Arsenal treat him like crap, and the fans, tore him apart, even though he spent less than Arteta did and did more in his first season than Arteta did. But no, he's crap. And, he's gone to show people that he's a good manager. Won Sevilla, how many Europa Leagues, took Villarreal to a freaking semi-final after beating Bayern. And here you are, he's effectively Villa are in a title race. They are. After how many games they are? They've beaten City at home, and they've beaten Arsenal at home. They seem good enough. They're going for the CL. Might as well. The only thing, obviously, is whether they succumb to injuries like a lot of other teams. Next 6 games is atonement. Bayern, Liverpool, West Ham, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest. Yeah, we're screwed, man. We're screwed. You know, we have a lot of away games. Bayern, I see us taking an L, unless, like, you know, we shape up. Liverpool, L. West Ham, you just hope that Moyes can do us a solid. You know, West Ham away. Hopefully, Moyes can do us. But West Ham are no slouches, man. Villa at home. Villa are in good form. L, and Forest away. If we start the way we started at home, that's an L. So I don't see any clear wins here. You know, possibly West Ham if Moyes is merciful, and possibly Nottingham Forest if we don't start badly. But the others, L's. We're definitely not in it. We're definitely not in it. Villa will beat us. Villa will beat us at home. With this United team, Villa will beat at home. And to be honest, all these teams could beat this United team. So I wouldn't be surprised if all these are L's. This Bournemouth game was the game to win. The fact that we lost it, I don't know. So yeah, Toman, man, I'm worried. I'm worried, man. Z Gold says, "Do you think no?" I'm sorry for being pessimistic, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. By the way, guys, please like the video, and subscribe. In fact, let me start a poll because I wanted to be interactive. Should Ten Hag be sacked? I'll put that in a poll. Simple. Should Ten Hag be sacked? Yes or no? That poll is in the community tab now. Big up you guys. Yeah, no. It's actually no. What I'll say, it's a difficult one because, like I said, Liverpool's defense isn't great, and I think if our defense shaped up, then maybe. It will be interesting now that Bruno's suspended, because if Bruno's suspended, and no, I think Mount or Ericsson, because they're still out injured. I think Ericsson's out injured. I suspect Ten Hag will play McTominay, Amrabat, and Mount. And I wonder if a midfielder Mount, Amrabat, and McTominay further forward, going forward, would be helpful. But I don't know. You know, Liverpool got pace on the break. You know, you're going to end up playing Maguire and Lindelof or Shaw, whatever, who don't have that. We don't do well at Anfield, so I don't think we have a chance against Liverpool. Only by some miracle. If we, the only way for me to forgive Ten Hag for this is if somehow we go to Anfield and dunk on those guys. Then I wouldn't say all is forgiven, but he has till the rest of the season for me if he dunks on Anfield. But that's not going to happen. If he dunks on Bayern and Liverpool back to back, he has till the end of the season. But if you can't do that, because then what that tells me is that we can't do it. So why aren't we doing it consistently? And that's on the players. But if we get humiliated them both, then I agree with you, G. The board won't sack him until the end of the season based on if we won't qualify Champions League. But I can see him bringing in his own guy in at some. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, Rob. Exactly. It's just this whole 25% ticket has been going on for ages now. I suspect it's not going to be ratified until, you know, I said Tom will be back to him here, but I don't expect this to be ratified until, you know, until New Year. So as far as I'm concerned, it's New Year. He's not going to be, you know, involved. I don't know. You know, I don't know. It is what it is. Let's move on to Tuesday. Who would you pick with no Bruno for Liverpool. I need to get into the player ratings actually. So I'm just going through comments because it's great. So once I've read the score, I'll come back to them and then I'll replace it. But who would I pick with Bruno with no Bruno? It'll be McTominay. McTominay would play there. I'd actually rather Van der Beek. I'd rather Van der Beek play there, and we play Amrabat and Mainu. But it will be McTominay. McTominay will play there, and Amrabat and Mainu, I said, will be in the midfield. Just based on just options, which we don't have. Sorry, 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Let's just not get humiliated. You know, I mean, I was thankful that the players. I think what I would say about Liverpool and Bayern, right, is that they're not going to play like Bournemouth and defensive teams, because what happens is that we press teams, we can't break them down, they hit us on the break or exploit our mistakes, and we're in trouble. The benefit of at least playing Liverpool and a Bournemouth, to a certain extent, a Villa, is that these teams are gonna give us space to be able to exploit. Now, whether we'll exploit that space and score, I don't know. But you know, we lost to Crystal Palace at home, we lost Bournemouth, and we lost to these teams that take advantage of our fugazi mistakes, but also drop deep and defend well. We can't do anything about it. You know, Chelsea didn't do that. Chelsea were much more open for us to exploit, and that's probably why we're able to do what we're able to do. But you know, Liverpool are definitely not going to be defensive at Anfield. No way. Liverpool, we're going to set up to counter attack. You know, we're going to set up to counter attack against Liverpool. You know, we're going to be the ones that defending deep, but whether we can actually do that successfully, I don't know, remains to be seen. 4 attackers? No, definitely not. Definitely, we'll probably play one more midfielder than that. To be honest, I've seen the narrative that Rashford needs to be dropped and everything will be fine. Well, this is what I'm saying. Everyone keeps on saying, the problem, it's a team game. It's a team game. So people say, well, people said, oh, you drop Maguire, everything will be fine. Everything was not fine. You drop Rashford, everything's going to be fine. You drop these people. It doesn't work like that. You know, if you have 8 players in that squad that have a bad performance, then it doesn't matter if only Rashford. It's just that last season, Rashford was scoring so many goals that we ignored everything else about his game. You know? Let's quickly go to the player ratings now. Let's have a look at the lineup. I mean, look at these stats here. Look at these stats. You know, we had 20 shots. You know, we had 20 shots, but only 3 on target. So what does that tell you? It backs up what I'm saying. What was going on in the final third? 60. Look at these stats. Almost 70% possession, 20 shots, 3 on target. So that tells you what were we doing? What were we doing with the ball? What were we doing in the final third? You've got 70% possession. You've had 20 shots, but this is 0. Bournemouth had 31 possession at Anfield, and it was 3-0. They had 10 shots. Okay, yes, it's been a bit more than we would like, and 4 of them on target was more, and 3 of them went in. So what does that tell you? Only 10 shots, 3 on target. I'm not saying defensively weren't bad, but with this, if life was fair, it should have been 6-3 to us. You know, like I said, I know I'm not saying this to discredit Bournemouth. Bournemouth did play well, but the reality is that we had opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities that we didn't utilized because our attackers are just not up to speed right now. Let's look. Okay, so Nana could have done better with some of the goals. I'll give him a 4. Reguilon and Shaw both got done quite a few times, to be honest. And it was annoying. So I'll give them 3 each. Maguire. Yeah, actually, Onana. Actually, I downgrade Onana to a 3 as well. These are all 3s. Maguire, I'll give Maguire 4. I'm not going to go in on him. He's arguably our best defender this season, which is wild, to be honest, considering that we wanted to sell the dude. So, yeah, I'll give Maguire 4. Dallo, Dallo, sorry, I'm running. Dallo, yeah, give Dallo a 4. Actually, what Amrabat wasn't that bad. I didn't think Amrabat was that bad. Give him 4.5. Scott McTominay, I'll give Scott McTominay a 3. Man is good when 3.5. Man is good when he can score goals and go forward. But if he doesn't score goals, I'm not really sure what else McTominay brings. And for me, you need to make a decision with him. Either he's a midfielder or he's a supporting striker or striker. He shouldn't be both. You know, he shouldn't be a. He's not like. Essentially, what I'm saying is like, if he's most effective here, then put him in a Belleman role. You got to play him in the cam and the 8. You got to basically, essentially, swap. Bruno goes deep, McTominay goes here. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're playing with 2 number 8s at this point. If you're bringing McTominay to the team to try and score goals, so it's going to be interesting against Anfield because Bruno's suspended. So McTominay for me goes in the 8 position, and then you probably bring in Manu there, and you see what happens. But it feels like we're playing with 2 8s now because McTominay isn't disciplined enough to do his role alongside Amrabat, I think. But you know, I could be wrong. Anthony, I think Anthony's sort of been better and playing better as the while goes on. Obviously, people need to bear in mind what he experienced, you know, with you know, the accusations, I'll say. But still not good enough. I'll give him a 4.5 to 5. Fernandes 4. 3 even, sorry. You had the opportunities, guys. You just didn't take them. You had your opportunities, guys, and you didn't take them. I don't know. I think that you know, you see this through the apology. Oh yeah, you know, I apologize and we didn't play better. It's like, man, I'm tired of apologies. I'm so tired of Manchester United's apologies, man. It's you know, we're sorry. Oh, blah, yeah, blah, blah. I'm just don't care. Don't care, sorry. Garnacho 3.5. Not a great game tape from either. Martial gave a 3 as well, but I mean, like, you know, it's the number 9s. It's the same old crap, you know, of like, it's a hustle. It's a hustle all the time. It's a thankless job and 0 service. But he didn't put himself in glory either. So yeah, those are my play ratings. I'm curious to see what people think. I was trying to be somewhat positive, but it's difficult to be positive when you've got freaking when it's freaking 3-0 away to Bournemouth. Let's have a look at some of these comments, guys. Big up everyone in the chat. Make sure you drop a like if you're new. Leave a sub as well. Consider giving us a super chat to support the channel as well. I appreciate it during this lovely Christmas period. If you're not a United fan, let's have a look. Box, oh sorry, Knox. So Box says I play a 5-3-2 versus Liverpool. Pioneer, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Evans, Varane, Shaw, Amrabat, Manu, Hannibal, Palestri, Garnacho, basically a back nine of 1-2 who are basically. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I don't think he'll play that, but I think that's fair. Yeah, exactly. What I said is he's not going to play it. Big up AB says big up RDS. Thanks, buddy, man. Zigold says my team for Liverpool: Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Shaw, Dallo. Okay, so Varane and Shaw. You dropped Maguire. I'm not sure about that. Okay. Amrabat, Mainey, McTominay, Rashford, Hoyland, and Palestri. So you bring Rashford back into the team. Oh, that's assuming we know the reason why Rashford out of the team. Is Rashford out of the team because of injuries or other things? Or is Rashford out of the team because he's been dropped and he's unhappy about Sanchez being treated? So we don't know. That's the question. Ten Hag was lucky. Wasn't yeah. I said he should be sacked on the spot after that. And the few times I said dude should be sacked on the spot. You cannot lose 7. As bad as Ollie is, Ollie never held 7 to Liverpool. He held 5 or 4, I think, but not 7. Not 7 at Anfield. It's unacceptable. And also, we'd beaten them at some point with Ollie, so it was kind of like, okay, yeah, if you're beaten the team already, but you lose another season, it's not that bad. Yes, we'd beaten Liverpool at Anfield with Ten Hag, but that's 7, buddy, man. 7? I don't get it. No Bruno or Eriksen for Liverpool. I'm skipping football for 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Problems, David T, man. Problems. Matters what coaches mentioned. Can't think of any. I can't think of any. I mean, actually, sorry. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. So what top coaches and managers are available currently? I don't know. I mean, is Hansi Flick a top manager or top coach? Because that's the only guy that I know that's available right now. Hansi Flick, maybe. Everyone else is in a job, and I can't see leaving the job for the foreseeable future. Certainly not now. You look at Enrique, PSG, Tuchel, Bayern, Nagelsmann, German coach, which I'm actually not going to leave for. Although and even Nagelsmann could be an issue for different reasons. Enrique, Emery, Villa, he could leave. It won't be till the end of the season. Pep, Klopp, where they are. Ancelotti, maybe, but again after the season. So I can't think of any high quality managers now that would come to beat to United now. Maybe you could tempt one or two at the end of the season, like an Emery or an Ancelotti, for example, but not now. Not now. They're just not enough. Think he's at the right club, decent ball with not intense pressure. Tillemans and Kamara were both brilliant for United, and both were available for free, and we didn't even tempt to sign them. Instead, we tried to stick with well, and this is what I'm saying about recruitment, about strategy. The amount of players that were if we were sensible, that were like, this player is free, this player go for 10 million. There's so many options, so many deals. It's why I never kind of understood the spending 60 million on Mason Mount. Why did we spend? Was that on Ten Hag? I don't know. Why did you spend 60 million on a player with 1 year left on this deal who was clearly injury prone, when we could have got 2, maybe 3 players who were free? Tillemans and Kamara. Tillemans, I would have gladly taken Tillemans for free at Manchester United. No, we don't have midfield. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Matthew. I don't know. And this is what I'm saying, that where, you know, it will be interesting to see what the strategy with the Ratcliffe group is going to be. Because I imagine it will be more for these type of young players, free deals, that type of thing, and not spending 60, 70 million players on players who've got 1 year left on their deal. You know, whatever you say, United's transfer strategy has, for the last part, has been crap. The decision making has been crap. You know, I love Casemiro, I love Varane, certainly Casemiro, but you got to think, is it sensible to give someone a 4-year deal to a 30-year-old on high wages? Which other clubs in the Premier League are giving above 30-year-old players 3 to 4 year deals on high wages? I don't know any of them. I don't know any in Europe that are. Maybe a 1 year or 2 year deal, sure, but 4 years? No. Conte, no. Conte definitely can't. Conte will, if people don't like Ten Hag, Conte is going to be his worst. Zidane, I'm not sure how good Zidane's English is, which is, I think, one of the reasons why there's issues with Ten Hag, because obviously communication-wise it's a bit of a struggle. But also, he's been out of management for a while. Football has changed, and football always continues to change. So I'm always very tetchy when someone comes back into football for a while. Rudy Garcia, I'm not sure about that. Potter, right. Potter, Lampard, Solskjaer, Allardyce, Blank, Flick, Loud, Lopetegui. Yes, all of them know. But thanks, Box. Appreciate it. Big T says, what if I told you there ain't no process to trust? Well, that is something, I think. Where are we? Let me go back on. There's some conversations happening. Rashford is a bum. Yeah, is he? Yeah, well, he. It's likely it's new contract tax, man. New contract tax. He got a new contract, and he's now playing crap. So there you go. Bruno started the rot today with a silly pass, and then continued to attempt to vote a game, and then gets suspended for the biggest game of the season. What? Bruno Fernandes has a lot to answer for, personally. Bruno has a lot to answer for. You know, I was dissing like, Maguire's the captain last season. He's not doing well enough. Blah 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 blah. He's shit. He's this. He's that. We're conceding goals, and now that Bruno's captain, I have to treat him harshly, just like I did with Maguire or any captain. If you're a captain, you bear a lot of the responsibility for your team, especially in the position that you're in. And he's not doing it. RSV, man, Shao, long time, man. I've not seen you in ages, man. Hope you're doing well. Not seen you in ages, so. But again, hope you're doing well, buddy. Are you Erik Ten Hag out, or do you think it'll be the same cycle? This is looking quite similar to the LVG when after we did good during the first thing. Yeah, I was going to say that. I've been saying that for a while. I think this is more like this. This is very much like LVG, whereby we had a semi-okay first season, and then a second season. What happened? I think that we got knocked. Didn't we get knocked out of the Champions League? I think we dropped to the Europa League. I think. Although we got to the, although in fairness to Erik, to Louis van Gaal, we missed out on the CL by a point, or was it goal difference? I can't remember. And we won the FA Cup, so it wasn't. So to be honest, if you told me this season that we finished fifth with an FA Cup, I'd call that a win. That's how far United have been. Back then, we're like, that's not good enough, United. Now I'm like, yeah, yeah, that'll be good, especially because fifth equals CL football now. So, yeah, and that's the thing for me. That's the thing. That's the only thing that I hold on to, is that fifth place likely is going to be CL football. Likely. It still depends on the coefficient. But I think, if someone knows in the chat, I think the coefficient is not just based on the performance in the UCL. It's teams coefficient in general. So UCL, Europa League, Europa Conference League, and I anticipate that every single European football competition is going to have an English team in it. City, I think, will be in the final for the CL. Liverpool will be in the final for the Europa League, and Aston Villa are going to be in the final for the Conference League. That's why I think that we'll get it. So my aim this season is, because I'm curious about the new Champions League format as well, but our aim is we need to get fifth. We need to somehow get fifth place and secure ourselves in that CL spot, and hope that other rivals drop points. But that's neither here nor there. Should have been 60. It should have been. Only few shots on target. Well, so this is what I'm saying. MG, is that what was our attack doing today? We had 20 shots. What was our attack doing? And more, considering how many times that the final pass was bad, and that it broke down. McD says, as always, for me, it's not a loss. Yeah, exactly. But that for me has been the epitome of Manchester United for, well, almost a decade right now, to be honest. I can't. The only time I remember Manchester United losing in quote well was maybe when we were knocked out of the Europa League to I don't know if it's Sevilla or Villarreal. It was one of them in the semis when we dominated them so much. We played so good football, but we just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and they just soccer punched us. That's the only time I can remember. Give every player a 0. That's probably fair, to be honest. I think that Ten Hag's idea is to play 2 8s. Well, it's not. It doesn't seem to be. It's not working, David T. Is it? It's not. It's not at all. What is our style of play? I think we do have a style of play. It's just that right now it's just unidentifiable, I guess. And I anticipate that because he obviously wanted Lisandro and Frankie de Jong. So I suspect his style of play was, well, sort of possessive counter-attacky, I suspect, or possessive quick transition, if that's a thing. All 0 except Maguire. Well, Maguire again is doing what he's doing. Dallo out, Rashford out, Lindelof out in January. Wrong team selection, wrong tactics, wrong in-game management. Ten Hag's not the man. I'm not sure. The team selection, come on, I can't give that big team, because this is Bournemouth, man. Like that's one thing. If it against Liverpool team, but this is Bournemouth. If this 11 can't beat Bournemouth, then can they not beat? Most of this, aside from, do you bring Rashford in here? Well, Rashford should be dropped, so it's fine. So really, who else comes in here? Højlund? I suspect the reason why Højlund didn't start was because he's got injuries that he's trying to manage. I suspect. Maybe I could be wrong, but I suspect that there's a thing with trying to manage Højlund potentially with injuries. So aside from Højlund and maybe Varane, that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe you put Varane in and put Shaw there. Maybe bring in Wan-Bissaka. I don't know, but these guys are always getting done, conceding goals. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that at the end of the day, you have to, especially when it comes to Premier League and all the games competitions, you have to have a good squad. So even if we played a better starting 11, I would have, as a manager, felt comfortable making changes to Bournemouth at home at Old Trafford, because we usually beat them and because, they're not that great. If this 11 can't, then, we're having issues. And frankly, this team, I still remember the first game of the season when we had a fairly, when even Varane and all the rest of it were in the team. We were awful. We were awful. We were so bad. We were awful. And that was Wolves, who then went on to lose the next 3 or 4 games. So I don't know. Let's have a look. Keep Garnacho mainly maintaining inside the rest. It is kind of that bad. It is that bad. It is that bad, buddy. It is that bad. It's very, very bad. It's very bad. Big up Rajat, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. It seems like we're trying to play. Yeah, exactly. I actually think I can understand why Lisandro Martin and Frankie de Jong were important in this system. Because I can already see if you put Lisandro here and Frankie de Jong here, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see how it would work. The reality, though, is that we don't have a midfield that can hold onto the ball. Mainu can, but he's young, and I wouldn't want to give him that pressure. Mainu potentially can play the Frankie de Jong role, but the other midfielders can't do that. And we just have midfielders that aren't comfortable. McTominay isn't a midfielder, for starters. McTominay isn't a midfielder. Amrabat is mostly a DM, an attempt at DM. And Bruno Fernandes, how good is Bruno really as a number 8? May as well support Lincoln Town or Hull City FC at this point. Yes. Ten Hag's overseas, so many battings, owned by Lags and Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. It's about something's going on, man. Maybe he knows that his job is gone. That could be a thing. Maybe he knows that his job is not safe, is gone, and he doesn't care anymore. That's a possibility. New players in January, please. There are likely not going to be new players. There are likely not going to be new players in January, Chief. Lucky, they're not. I would be very surprised if they're new. But like I said, we'll be starting transfer shows, hopefully, after Christmas, when all that when transfer rumors get, so we'll start transfer shows. So that'll be cool. Yeah, mid-table players. Deserving could be no. That's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do the whole, Deserve is doing well or Big Ange is doing well at such and such. I mean, those guys drew to, wasn't it Brentford today? I think. We've been really bad, and yet somehow Brighton, who beat us at home, still are behind us. What does that tell you? This is the thing. Don't make the mistake of extrapolating and saying this manager did well with this small club or smaller club, and therefore they will now do better Manchester United. That's not going to work. They're doing well because of the lack of expectation, but also because they have good management and a structure in front of them. That's why they're doing well. United don't have those things. And so because United don't have those things, any manager coming in has to bear that in mind. I mean, even Ten Hag said so himself. He said that so many of his friends and people he knew, presumably in football and sport, told him not to take the United job. That's something that people need to realize, actually, that like people know that going to United is where teams' careers or things go to die. So we need to, almost like Chelsea right now with Brigger Van Vat sacking managers, that like I genuinely think we're seeing a shift and change in management. Managers, I think, prefer to stay in a place where they're going to be guaranteed a degree of stability and support. And they're not going to just take up jobs at places where like there's no structure, there's no plan, you can be sacked anytime, like, and get a pair of. I don't think that upcoming managers are gonna buy that anymore. And at the end of the day, when you've got hearsay and people saying United aren't a good place, you've got Van Gaal saying they're too commercial, blah blah blah. That's it. You don't end up. So whatever manager, I just feel like with whatever manager that we have next, it will be a significant downgrade from Ten Hag. It will be. It will be. Sorry guys. Yawn. It's a big problem, but so are owners and players get rid of them. We can't get rid of the owners, unfortunately. You've got the Glazer not going anywhere. Post-Fergie made too many short-term signs of past-it players. Yep. Although, to be honest, I'd take a Garlo right now. I would take a Garlo. To be honest, I'd take most of these strikers. Not Falco, who's injury prone, but Garlo, Cavani, Ibrahimovic, I'd take them, man, because they actually they scored more goals. I mean, Garlo on loan has scored more goals than Højlund has in the league currently, and Rashford. So I'd take the strikers right now, to be honest. If they can score a goal or a couple, I'd take them. Let's have a look. Yes, late. It's a therapy session, guys. It's a therapy session, guys. So I'm up with the late session as well, because I appreciate it. And thanks, obviously, everyone for tuning in as well. I know that I was late, but I actually prefer these. Personally, for me, I prefer these late shows. I actually prefer these late shows than streaming after the game. It gives me more time to think and be logical instead of just being hyper emotional and react to it accordingly. Let's have a look. Reaper says Volta. I don't know what that means, but let me know. Second season under Blanche, we lost to likes of Norwich, Bournemouth, West Ham. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we won an FA Cup. We did win an FA Cup. We did. That's why I don't want to say, people say it's a failure of a season. I always say with football ultimately is about winning trophies. Top 4. We didn't get top 4 into Champions League. Okay, but we won a trophy though. Like, I'm sick and tired of top 4 being seen as a trophy. It's not a trophy. It just means we can compete for a big one. And the matches and the scenes and all the rest of it, but it's still not a trophy. 4th or 5th, yeah, I'm okay with that. Kind of wish we had Weghorst back. At least it would help with defending. He would, actually. He would. Oh, wow, man. We're generally at this point that we want Wout Weghorst back, man. There you go. Alberto says, hey, United fans, in Portugal, say you are going to buy a João Neves, 120 million, that will screw you. Don't do it. Yes. What I'll tell you, Alberto, is that Manchester United are not paying over 100 million for any player. Certainly not for João Neves. That is not happening. It's not happening. But thanks. Big up, Richo man. Hope you're doing well. I think Everton fan looking at it. Hope make sure that you guys dunk on Chelsea tomorrow, please. It will make this weekend more bearable seeing Everton dunk on Chelsea. Is the Manchester? Well, I mean that's what the that's what the rumors are going, but that's what people are saying. Like I think it's very easy for us to assume. Again, I cite Chelsea. I think it's very easy for us to assume that, oh yes, you know, we'll be able to pick a new manager, and there'll be sort of murmurings are happening. You know, when you look at Chelsea, sorry, 2 seconds. When you look at Chelsea, they talked to Enrique first. They talked to Nagelsmann first. Better managers. And at the end of the day, they were like, nah. So yeah, we can't do it all the time. Big up Matthew, man, for Super Chat, man. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate it. And Don Ragnar, Chief, who I always love Don Ragnar, man. Welcome back. Ten Hag falling out with players like he fell out with his hair. I've seen spitting that flat top hat like yours truly, man. What do you do? What do you do, guys? I don't know. I don't know. Nothing will change your Glazers are at the club. It won't. And at the end of the day, the last push was to get the Qataris in. Ratcliffe spotted that. So we're here where we are. Another disappointing performance of Manchester United in the build-up to games against Bayern Liverpool next week. And yeah, guys, I'm not looking forward to it at all. Not at all. Oh man, I wish United could just give us a Christmas present. It would be great if they could. But with those fixtures, it's looking peak. Anyway, guys, I have to head off. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at WeAreUnitedX and smash the notification button for the latest Manchester news. We will probably be doing a match reaction to the Bayern game, depending on how, I don't know, if we, guys, I'll be honest with you guys, if we get dominated by Bayern and Liverpool, I don't know whether I can do a match reaction, man. I don't know if we can do a match reaction. I don't know. I don't know. Liverpool, actually, to be fair, next weekend I've got a wedding and several events going, so I might not be able to do anything related to Liverpool. So I might avoid that. But Bayern, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, guys, it's just therapy at this point. But things can go up, I guess, right? Right? Take care, everyone. Peace out. And enjoy, well, try and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.